explaining this to people is because that's the reason why freehanding exists. But the best way to get good at it is to consistently keep drawing. If you want something that's going to look decently good or really good, you have to draw it enough to get to that point where it's good. So you don't have to draw the same image 1,000 different times. You could draw 1,000 different images once. Eventually, you're going to have what you call really decent art or somewhat decent art. It might not be perfect. There's going to be always flaws in everybody's art. If you think every single art's going to look great or magnificent, you are really living a delusion. Because I can show you flaws that were in this art. Yeah, it looks great. There's flaws though. Alright, so a lot of the dimensions like mine are practically, I think his is better overall, but to be honest with you, there's flaws with it. There's always flaws. He might have been able to point out his flaws. I think the tail might have been off a little bit. Same for mine though. Mine has flaws in the tail. In fact, I'm looking at my tail and I don't like it either. I think his tail's off though, and then not only that, but like I'm tired right now, and I noticed that the arms, when I was doing the arms, I was doing, like just looking and tracing it back the way I was looking at it, and the arms are a little bit off. I'm not picking, it's good though. I mean, like, this is how you would get a decent looking art. I'm just taking note at where their art went wrong and why mine looks the way it looks. Because this is exactly what you would do when you're freehanding it. You want to like get sort of the similar dimensions that the other artists drew. So the arms look like they're off, the tail looks like they're off, and then the ear was another thing that I noticed, that like he was trying to give it field, like the field of view or whatever, where like it looks like it's in a different field of view. Like that looks like the back end, but the ears just don't look right either. But to be honest with you, I like it still. I mean, like out of all the art that I saw online, this is one of the few that I actually did like. I had put up several of them, and I was like, this is gonna take way too long. And then I like it, but like I don't like it on the same caliber of the other Pikachus. Like this one just looks like the easiest one for kids to get along with if they were wanting to draw something. So like that's the whole idea behind this video, is like to promote, like sort of like a child-friendly way of drawing. I just don't really like the idea of like someone telling me that this is like something that they can copyright. That would really ruin my day, because like I grew up with Pikachu. I think we all had a little bit of a childhood. Even adults know what Pikachu is, and I'll tell you right now, telling someone that they can't draw a Pikachu for a little bit of money, even with money involved, it's like, dude, that's not right. You're basically telling people like, look, dude, you can't do what I want to do, or you can't do what I do, type thing. It's like, come on, man. You gotta grow up out of this phase of like copyright and everything. Because the person that's doing that is just malicious as heck. They're just basically saying, look, you copied me, now you pay me money, type thing. It's like, no. So, it's really turned out really, really decent. I'd say, this is one of... It's probably better than what I did when I was a kid. In fact, I've done most of this art with my left hand, and I need to stop doing that because that's my dominant hand. And the whole idea behind this whole journey was to master my right hand a little bit more than my left, because I was really dominant when I was in school with my left. So I am ambidextrous, but every single ambidextrous artist will tell you this. They have a dominant hand. And I read online that they don't have dominant hands. Yes, they do. They most definitely do. It just doesn't look like they do. They most definitely do, though. Every single person on the whole entire planet has a dominant hand. There is no such thing as someone being born with equal skill. They develop their skills along the way. There is no such thing. I don't know where these people get off on this whole, like, oh, you know, I'm ambidextrous. I never really had a more dominant hand type thing. Because, you know, I know you're lying because I was the same way. You know, like, I'm ambidextrous, but I developed my skills along the way, and I always had a dominant hand. So that just proves you wrong. Like, you would have to be brain dead to literally think that you never had a dominant hand. And I'm telling you, that's actual case scenario. Like, what kind of delusion do you think I'm like living in? Where like I never tried to master my other hand. I most definitely did. That's exactly what I did. Even when I was a kid, I was doing that. So what I'm gonna explain here is there is no way in heck that you like if you come on my channel and you're telling me that you were ambidextrous and you were born that way and there was no like there, like there was no way that you think that blah 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 or whatever. No, I don't believe you at all. Okay, for one, like there is no way in heck that you think that you're literally born with both hands being equally the same on like art or for writing. The reason why I'm stating this is because you know how freaking hard it would be for you to be born like that. There's not very many people born like that. You could develop that trait, but you're not born like that. The reason why I'm stating this is every single person on the whole entire universe, in fact, I'm almost certain, even like anything that has what you call opposable thumbs will tell you this. When you eat with a certain hand most of the time. When you draw, you use your hand certain most of the time. The reason why I'm stating this is when you're shooting a gun, you're using your more dominant hand. You have a dominant hand whenever you choose to do something, normally 90% of the time. When you're wiping your butt, you would use your dominant hand. When you're playing a video game or getting on the computer or whatever, you're always using a dominant hand. So it's a trait that you develop. It's not a trait that literally you're born with. You develop it because when you start writing as a kid, you write with your dominant hand, the one that you feel most comfortable with. And it might not be even proper. See, when I was a kid, I learned that real quick. That's not my proper hand. I shouldn't be writing with my left hand. And I was always told that, you know, like I don't have a soul because of it, and like I sold my soul because I was writing with the improper hand. My grandma hated it, and that's the reason why I developed my other hand. My grandma hated the reason I wrote with my left hand because it was improper. It wasn't proper etiquette. She didn't like the fact that I was writing with my improper hand. And proper etiquette would be if you're writing with your right hand, you wouldn't have this happen to you. All right, it happens with ink, it happens with that, but when you're doing art, it's going to happen regardless. I don't think she realized that. Artists literally always have this happen every single time, and it's just whichever hand you felt more comfortable doing. So, this is completely done. There ain't nothing I need to do to it anymore. That's pretty much the whole entire video. I can sign this and move on with my life. I don't really think I will ever do another Pikachu ever again. Well, maybe, I don't know. If I got some sort of deal with Pokemon where I could do Pikachu art, I would definitely be loving enough to do it for my channel. But I don't want to get like in trouble constantly doing Pikachu arts. It's something that I'm willing to do once here and there, but like this ain't something I'm willing to do 24/7 because I don't want to get copyright striked. I know that, you know, like I said that you can't get copyright strike. You can if you were doing it consistently, but like for example, if you're just having fun with the image and you're just doing a video and you're not trying to cause any harm, they can't really copyright strike you for this. This would just be for, I'm not purposely blatantly doing it. It's just more like this is one of my cartoon characters that I loved. It's not perfect. I know that, and I'm not saying it's perfect. But to me, I thought it looked good. He's a goofy character. And it reminds me of my dog. In fact, I literally named him Trigachu because when I got him, his name was Trigger. So over time, I was trying to develop names for him. I called him Little Triggy, Triggs. Uh, there was all kinds of names. The Trigster. I said that he used to take trigonomics because he was so smart. Trigachu was another nickname that I came up with him. Some people used to call him Mr. T and stuff like that. So, all right, there we go. This is that whole entire video. I thought this turned out pretty decent. So, thanks for watching.